What is up, my beautiful people? Okay, today we are going to be talking about all things fueling around your workout. So before, after, during, possibly, we're going to be talking about how to fuel properly for a CrossFit workout, especially if you are a woman that is 35 and older. This is for you. If you're not really sure what to eat and you find yourself with really low energy in the gym, maybe you're 2 minutes into a 20-minute AMRAP and you already are feeling like you're running on E. Maybe you have some stubborn belly fat that you just can't seem to lose. Strength gains aren't coming as easily nowadays, and you just feel like your fueling for training is completely off. I'm gonna break down exactly what to eat before your workout, after your workout, to get the very most out of your training, right? Because if we're going to the gym and just checking the box, that's exactly how we go to the gym for years and don't see any progress, right? We're not really moving the needle, not just with your body composition, but with how you're performing in the gym. You probably haven't set a PR in a while. You feel like you're running on fumes right when you get started in the workout. You're experiencing a lot of low energy, and body composition seems to be plateaued for, 6 to 12 months. So if that sounds like you, we're gonna dive into all of those things today. One of the biggest mistakes that I see when I talk to women that are 35 and older and that are doing CrossFit 3 to 5 days a week is that they're chronically under-fueled and they're trying to lose body fat. So their answer is just to eat less. Let me tell you, you need to be eating likely more than you're eating when it comes to food volume, maybe not calories, but when it comes to your volume of food, right? Starving yourself all day long and calling it fasting and then overeating every single night is not fueling properly for your goals. And you definitely don't want to be skimping on fueling properly around your workouts, right? So pre-workout and post-workout are imperative. They need to be non-negotiable for you if you're trying to lose body fat and improve your performance in the gym at the same time. So if you haven't noticed, getting a little bit older, again, this is for especially women that do CrossFit that are 35 or older, especially like 35 to 55, we'll call it. If you haven't noticed yet, your metabolism is a lot less flexible than it was in your 20s. In other words, you can't really do the same things or get away with the same things that you used to be able to get away with in your 20s, maybe even your earlier 30s. And now it feels like if you do those things, if you take the day and eat whatever you want, or you have a dinner that you really had a lot of unhealthy things, you'll notice that you feel it a lot more than you did in your 20s. Same with working out, right? If you skip the gym for a couple days in your 20s, you probably really don't see a difference or even notice a difference really. But in your upper 30s and 40s and definitely your 50s, you notice that your metabolism is a whole lot less flexible, or the things that used to work or maybe you used to get away with all of a sudden really aren't working so much anymore. And whether you like it or not, your hormones are shifting. So what does that mean for you? Well, when you do high intensity workouts, which you should be doing, I'm not saying to not do them, but when you do them, you're gonna experience a higher tick up in cortisol than you would in your 20s or even your early 30s, right? These hormones start to shift. So after a high intensity workout, you're gonna have more cortisol than you would when you were a little bit younger. So what exactly does that mean? With higher cortisol, you're going to experience a little bit less energy. You're going to experience a little bit more fat storage, especially around your midsection, and just feel like you're running on fumes all of a sudden in the gym. When in reality, if you're chronically under fueling or trying to cut calories, especially around your workouts, you're going to have an even higher take up in cortisol than you usually would, and it's going to cause even more fat storage and even lower energy. So you're only making things worse. Let's talk about the pre-workout snack first. So with your pre-workout snack, again, these are sweeping generalizations, right? Everyone is different, but for most people, we want to be having some type of carbohydrate source, an easily digestible carbohydrate source, 30 to 60 minutes before we do that high intensity training or your CrossFit class. So what exactly should that look like? Great question. 20 to 30 grams is ideal for, again, most women. Not everyone is the same, but most women, 30 to 60 minutes before your class time. So let's say you take an 8 a.m. class, around 7 a.m., you want to be getting in 30-ish grams of carbs. So it might be, 25 up to 35 for some people, but let's say 30-ish grams of carbohydrates in that 30 to 60 window before the class actually starts. So my personal favorites with this, I have like a go-to for a banana, right? So a banana is about that 25 to 30 grams of carbohydrates. It digests really easily and it's super quick, and I can literally take it with me on my way to the gym if I need to. Now, secondly, my second go-to is some type of like applesauce packet. If you're someone that finds yourself just not hungry, maybe you work out super early in the morning at like 5 or 6 a.m. and you just find yourself waking up and like having coffee, but really not feeling that hungry, an applesauce packet is a really great option for you because it's kind of a drinkable carbohydrate source. So it really doesn't take too much, appetite to have an applesauce packet. It's kind of like, a smoothie that you can travel with. Make sure it's unsweetened applesauce. You don't need added sugar to already sweet applesauce. So that's my second go-to. And last but not least, my third go-to for a pre-workout snack is an apple, right? Super easy. You can take it with you on the go. I personally like Honeycrisp apples. I think they're the best. But if you haven't noticed a theme here already, we're really digging into fruit, right? Fruit is fantastic because it has those easily digesting carbs, so your body can break that down into glucose and use it for your workouts. You also want to be sure that you're having pre-workout snacks that don't have a ton of fat. If you have a lot of fat, even if you're having it with your carbohydrate source, that is going to significantly slow down the digestion process, and your body is not going to process those carbohydrates and really be able to use that glucose in your workout. So you don't want to be having a lot of fat content before training. All right, now let's talk about post-workout. So you just got finished with your CrossFit class. When should you focus on your post-workout nutrition? After your class, let's say you did the 8 a.m. class, right? 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., you're doing CrossFit. From 9 to 10, that hour is your window of opportunity to get in your post-workout nutrition. Now, if it's a little bit after that, don't freak out, it's fine. But ideally, we want to get it in that 60 minutes right after training. Now, why is that? Because during this hour, your muscles are more insulin sensitive and your body is ready to replenish all that glycogen you just used during your workout. So the magic question, what should you eat? Now, again, I'm really generalizing here. Everyone is going to be a little bit different, right? For Susie and for Sally, their protocols would be different, right? But let's just generalize just for funsies. 30-ish grams of protein and 30 to 40-ish grams of carbohydrates post-workout, again, during that 60-minute window post your workout or post doing a CrossFit class. Now, what should those 30 grams of protein and 30 to 40 grams of carbohydrates, again, this is generalizing, but what should those even look like? What should they be? If you've seen any of my content at all, ever watched any YouTube video, any Instagram video, any TikTok, wherever you found me, I am always going to be going on real food, right? I'm always going to be talking about real food is the way. Just so you know, if anyone is trying to tell you that real food is not the way to fat loss, to improving your metabolism, to increasing your strength, to all of these things that everyone's after, if anyone's telling you that real food is not the way, outside of some supplements, but they're trying to tell you real food is not the answer to do any of those things, they're trying to sell you something. Just saying. If anyone's saying that real food is not, for you or isn't good or whatever, not going to help you, just take a step back and look at what's going on. They're trying to probably sell you some supplement or some detox or whatever the hell that they're trying to do. They're trying to sell you something because real food is the answer no matter what. So real food all day long. Now, if we're going home from the gym and we got to go straight to work, yes, of course, you can do some type of protein shake, depending on, what time of day it is and when you're going to have, a chance to eat your next meal. But outside of scheduling wise, I would love, and what I do with all of my clients is try to figure out a way that our post-workout nutrition or that, 30-ish grams and 30 to 40 of protein and that 30 to 40 of carbohydrates can be done with real food if we can, right? Ideally, it's with real food. Now, you can totally use a protein shake, right? Maybe it's a protein shake and a couple handfuls of blueberries, right? Really great, strong pre or post-workout nutrition, right? Really, really strong. We got the protein and we got some carbohydrates to go along with it. However, real food, protein sources, and carbohydrate sources is what I would recommend for anybody. Number one, you're gonna get way more micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals in those types of foods versus just a supplement, and definitely better than not doing anything at all post-workout. So ideally, we're using real foods for that protein and for those carbohydrate sources, if at all possible. Of course, you can totally supplement with a protein shake if need be. I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope you got some ideas of what to do pre-workout, post-workout, so you can really get the most out of the gym. You can improve your performance, you can maintain your strength and your muscle mass, and be shedding body fat at the same time. I'm telling you, you need to be fueling for the gym, especially if you're doing CrossFit. Doing it fasted, under fueling, day after day after day is what's keeping you stuck. It's not helping you. Now, there's going to be a link down in the description where you can book in a call with me if you want to know exactly what this would look like for you and you want to explore what one-on-one coaching would look like. If you actually want help with this and you're tired of guessing what to eat and you finally want someone that's in your corner telling you not just pre-workout and post-workout, but all day long exactly what to eat to get to your goals in the next 3 to 6 months, there's going to be a link down below. We're going to talk about where you're at, where you want to be, see if I can help getting you there, and see if it's a good fit, right? Kind of break down what that would look like. So if that interests you, hit the link down below and I will see you in the next video.